If you're tired of your increasing electric bills and tired of calling City Hall and feeling like you have no recourse, we need you to make a change in our city. My name is Joshua Grant. You may recognize me from the numerous posts on Facebook about the high electric rates assessed by the City of Livingston. We had a very successful meeting at the Livingston Municipal Library to discuss next steps that the citizens can take to make sure our officials are held accountable and our rates are where they need to be and just and reasonable. Many of you may not know that because Livingston doesn't produce its own electricity through generation, we rely on an agency called Sam Rayburn Municipal Power Agency to procure our contracts and purchase power agreements for us. Since entering that contract in 2012, the City of Livingston has recovered almost $60 million in recovered revenues, none of which has been seen by the customers of the City of Livingston Power Utility. In order to enter into this agreement with SRMPA in 2012, the City of Livingston used the credit of the citizens of Livingston in order to float bonds to get the assets and create the agency that they've created. Since they created these bonds using the credit of the citizens of the city, we should be seeing some of these funds back. To date, all of the revenues recovered through the SRMPA have been passed on through the city operational budget, and 0% of that money has gone directly to the customers who helped them form the agency to begin with. Ideally, most of these rates should have been used to reduce the crippling and staggering rates that are being assessed against the City of Livingston customers. However, the city has said that there are no direct records of where this money has gone. We presume it's gone into the operational budget, but how has this helped the electric customer? For those of you watching this video, you may be wondering, why is my electric bill so high? One reason your electric bill is high is due to the excessive cost that was assessed by Entergy to SRMPA when the City of Livingston signed on to the contract in 2012. If Livingston was not a part of this contract, they could be getting power in the open market at significantly reduced prices, which would be passed on to the customer in the form of reduced rates. In 2012, when our city officials signed on to this contract with Entergy, the price for capacity was $9.75 per kilowatt month. If Livingston were to go into the open market and procure power for the citizens of its city, they could get rates as low as $7.85 per kW month. And that's on the high end. This would have an immediate and drastic effect on our citizens' bills. The second reason your bill is so high is because Livingston is over-collecting on the fuel component of their rates. Every month, the City of Livingston gets a recommendation from the SRMPA on what fuel costs should be based on what the SRMPA is paying for that fuel. The City of Livingston set their rates in August of 2022, which went into effect on October 1st, 2022. At that time, the fuel component of our rates was $80 per megawatt. Since February, however, that rate has dropped significantly, and on the market, fuel is going for currently less than $20 per megawatt. However, the City of Livingston is still assessing rates as if they were $80 per megawatt, effectively overcharging you by almost 300%. To put that into perspective, if you use 2,000 kilowatt hours of electricity in your home, the normal fuel component of your bill would be roughly about $35 according to market price. However, your portion of the fuel for the City of Livingston, $160. Because it takes fuel to produce electricity, the citizens are required to pay for that fuel. But the city cannot collect on fuel costs. It should be a straight pass-through cost. The argument I most often hear when I bring these concerns to my fellow citizens is that the city uses these electric revenues to offset the need to assess an ad valorem tax, which is a property tax. The problem with this argument, however, is that the city hasn't collected an ad valorem tax since 1989. The reason? Because they were collecting so much sales tax they didn't need to. If you look directly on the city's website under the electric department, it states that the city uses these funds to offset the need for an ad valorem tax. However, if the city decides it needs to collect an ad valorem tax, by law it can only assess an 8-cent per every $100 ad valorem tax on property. In order to assess an ad valorem tax of any more than 8%, the city would automatically trigger an election for the voters to approve whether or not we want that property tax. But one of the biggest issues I want to bring to your attention is the complete lack of transparency within our own city government. It should not take a public information request for a citizen of our city to find out why our rates are set the way they are, how they're calculated, and why the city has over or under collected funds. On numerous occasions, my concerns have been brought to the attention of our elected city officials. When I asked about how our rates were set for the City of Livingston, I was told to talk to an employee of the SRMPA. That employee does not work for our city and is not accountable to the voters of this city. When I brought this to the attention again to our city officials, instead of taking me seriously and sitting down and talking about ways in which the city could help its customers, I was told to turn up my thermostat. Because of these concerns, we have decided to file an appeal by the residents of the city of Livingston for a rate review with the Public Utility Commission of Texas. We can't do it alone and need your support. That's why, for any more information, you can visit our website at www.livingstonratereview.com or click on the link below that leads you to our Facebook page, where you'll find plenty of information on how you can get involved, as well as information about the City of Livingston's financial reports, SRMPA, and the Public Utility Commission of Texas. We all live in Livingston and want to see the city succeed. We don't want to pay big city energy prices to live in a small town like Livingston. While I don't think any of the issues I've expressed in this video were caused by nefarious purpose by any city official, it's going to take everybody getting active in our community to make a change and make the city listen to us that these electric rates are no longer going to be tolerated. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions or concerns, I can be contacted at the phone number listed on our website, or you can send me a direct message on Facebook.